What's up, man? How's it going? I love taking the opportunity out to talk to you guys. And this one is going to be a little bit different than the normal Fact Friday videos. So this right here is just to show you guys that I'm really listening to you, and I'm taking into consideration the things that you're saying, the things that you're talking about, because I want you to know that I am doing this truly because I care about helping people progressing and overcoming the things that they need to go through, the things that they're going through, and achieving their goals. Simply, plain and simple. So last week I put out a post that, just send me information on what you want to know, what you want to talk about. And this topic today is one of the messages I got. So today we're going to talk about macros. And you can't talk about macros without talking about micros. Now, macros, I'm pretty sure you've heard this term before. What is it? What does it do? What is it all about? Now, macro is short for macronutrients. Now, macronutrients are the three main food groups per se that the body consumes on a daily basis, that anyone actually consumes on a daily basis. And macros are made up of carbohydrates, protein, and fats. Now, you're probably thinking like fat, yeah, like ice cream and the good stuff. Actually, no, sorry. Not talking about that. We're talking about fatty acids, right? These are things the body really needs for it to function, right? Now, let's go through these one by one. So the first one is carbohydrates. Now, when you talk about carbohydrates, you're not talking about like white rice or white bread. Anything that's bleached is actually not good for you. So when you think carbs, you want to think whole wheat, right? You want to think whole wheat, you want to think grains. Those are the type of carbs that you need. Also, and then we're moving on to protein. When people think protein, they automatically jump to like chicken breast. They're like, chicken is where it's at. That's protein, bro. Bro talk. Well, believe it or not, you could get protein in just about every single food product that there is out there. There's protein in eggs, there's protein in salmon, there's protein in the vegetables you eat, there's protein in just about every single product that you eat, right? Followed by that is fatty acids, right? So fatty acids, what you're looking for is like olive oil, nuts, and things like that. Those are the type of products you want to consume to get the fatty acids you need. Now, let's bring it back a little bit and focus on carbs a little bit. There's been this long perpetuated myth that carbs are bad. Carbs are the enemy. Carbs are bad. Carbs are the enemy. Listen, folks. Carbs are bad if they're terrible carbs, like bleach products, white rice, white flour, white bread, stuff like that. And also, if you just eat and sit at home and do nothing. Carbs are bad if you're not active, right? And the reason why is, so carbs is fuel for the body. First energy source that the body goes to. Think of it sort of like a car, right? You put gas in your car, or in other words, the battery and the alternator in your car, right? So carbs is that first initial source to get your body going, which is what the battery in your car does. The battery initially starts your car, gets it going. And then your body turns to other sources like fat and protein. And that will be your alternator, and that's what keeps the body running, right? So that's why you want to make sure you get a portion of all these three things throughout your meal, which you probably should. Make sure you're eating that right. All three. So that's macronutrients in a sense. It's very important that you eat all three variations and not just one. And you balance these things well, right? You want to make sure you eat in a portion. So when it comes down to macronutrients, you try to balance them well to where you're not having too much fatty acids and too much carbs. Less carbs, less fatty acid, more protein. Get the gist. Next, which I think is the most important thing in your diet, is micronutrients. And you're like, what are micronutrients? I don't even know, because it's micro. Micronutrients are really important, man. So when you think micronutrients, you want to think fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. Those are the source and the foundation to a well-balanced diet. So the suggested eating amount for dieting is half your plate needs to be green, and the other half needs to be broken down into your other micronutrients. So basically what they're saying is on half of your plate, you need to have green vegetables and mixed in with fruits. And then on the other half, you need to have just the other half broken down into quarters. You want to have some carbs and your protein, right? If you really think about it, if you mix your nuts, like your cashews or your walnuts or whatever, in with your vegetables, you get fatty acids. Think about that, right? So you're knocking that out in that one meal. Now, when you look at this overall plan on a daily basis, you want to break this thing down into food products that is understandable. So with that said, you want to think of 5 major food groups when you do that. All right, you want to have your carbs, which is your whole wheat. You're going to have your protein. You have your vegetables, your fruits, and you want to throw dairy in there, because dairy, if you can process it, is really good for muscles and bones. And those are the 5 things you want to focus on, and that creates like that essential balance to a diet. So how I normally break it down is I try to get all 5 food groups throughout the day. So in the morning, I have just about a bit of everything on my plate. So I'd have some greens, which I normally mix in with my eggs. So I'll do like scrambled eggs or an egg omelet, and I have my spinach and mushroom and so on and so forth within that omelet. So that's my vegetables, my egg, my protein. And then I have like a slice of whole wheat bread, which is my carbs, and a glass of milk, which is my dairy. And I'll either eat that with strawberries or orange or an apple or a half an apple, right? And that's my fruit. All 5 major food groups right there in one sit-in. And then throughout the day, I'm adding in some oranges, get that vitamin C, kind of keep that immune system boost. And then an apple, which helps with all sorts of different function. If you go back and watch that video I did about an apple a day, keeps the doctor away. And then lunch is mostly like the middle of the day, kind of like that pick me up, keep me going. So lunch is basically just a balanced meal, which is just like a healthy meal, which just kind of brings me over into dinner, which I do the same thing again for dinner. So for dinner, I'm having a little side salad mixed in with all that stuff, with all of the greens and the nuts and all that. And then I'm having my protein, which is salmon, because I love salmon. And or a baked chicken breast, and then I'll do carbs, which I'll do like a baked potato, or I'll do like a spoon of whole grain rice, and then I'll have strawberries. I love strawberries. And there's also other different fruits you can add in there, right? You can do the research and get that information. Yeah. So in a nutshell, macros and micros, right? One last thing I want to cover before I let you guys go is fatty acids. I want to kind of break this thing down a little bit because it does kind of get tricky to some parts. Now, fatty acids is broken down in different levels. Now you've probably heard people say that if you're not eating the right fatty acids, you can increase your chance of getting high cholesterol. True. And this is the underlying story to that. You have fatty acids broken down into a couple different groups, which is mono and poly. You're like, what? Mono and poly? Mono and poly, unsaturated fat is good. Saturated fat is not good. So you want to pay attention to the labels when you get these products. And again, I've said this before, don't pay attention to what's on the front, all right? the federal law does not prevent manufacturers from putting anything on the front. They could put whatever they want to put on the front, and it's perfectly legal. What they cannot tamper with is the nutrition fact that's on the back of the product. That tells you the amount of calories, the vitamins, and all that stuff that's in there. And that is what you want to pay attention to. By law, they are not supposed to lie on that. And they do get investigated periodically and randomly to make sure that what is on it is actually accurate. So that is what you want to pay attention to make sure that the products that you're eating does not have saturated fat. Some of the things that I could tell you off top that does is your regular off-the-shelf cooking oil. So we want to pay attention to a lot of that stuff you want to eat. I personally use olive oil because it's just better, and it makes my food taste better, and it prevents me from getting high cholesterol. So hopefully this answered your question, and you're able to take this information and apply it daily, and it benefits you and the life that you're trying to lead. And if you have any other questions, inputs, comments, or suggestions, definitely don't hesitate to email or message me the way you did. I love you guys' feedback, and this is why I do these videos, is to share knowledgeable, legitimate, verified information that is going to help you live a better life. Fabian here, Changes Fitness, and as always, add that to your diet.